Hello everyone, my name is Aksan Bedi. I am a UI designer from Design Plus Code.
We will learn how to design this beautiful iOS 16 app by using great color, a variety of gradients and mesh gradients, useful layout techniques and spacing rules. We are going to design awesome graph using vectors, patterns, and effects such as drop shadows, glows, blur, and blending modes. The design also comes in light and dark mode. Choose primary color for buttons, selected states, and other interactive elements. Also, pay attention to the contrast to ensure that the text is legible. For example, light text and dark background. There are many tools to help pick color palettes, gradients, and a good contrast ratio. Spacing is important to make your app look clean and organized using numbers for positions, size, and distances that can be divided by 4 or 8. The smaller the elements, the smaller the spacing between them. Keep similar elements grouped together. Finally, we will cover dark mode and materials, which are translucent blur layers from thin to thick, adding vibrancy and clarity to your content. We will put all into practice during the course. Before we get started, I want to introduce our video sponsor, Sketch. Thanks to Sketch sponsorship, this course is 100% free. Sketch is one of the best design tools for UI design, icon design, and also Apple provided iOS UI Kit is fully native, have real-time calibration, developer handoff, and prototyping. To follow this course, you are going to need to create an account. It's free to try and download the asset file. You will also need the SF fonts, the SF symbol 4, and the iOS UI kit. Alright, let's get started. First, let's open Sketch Apps. This is for team collaboration account. When you work on your personal project, you can select on the draft section and then you can click on plus to create a new project. Let's name our project first. I will call it finance. This page, let's call it iOS. And I will add an artboard. You can press on A on your keyboard or you can go on insert plus. Click on artboard. You will see on your inspector the size of your iPhone, different devices. We will need the iPhone 13 Pro. Let's add a background color. Now let's use the iOS UI kit. We can search from the symbol here. We will need the status bar, iPhone for dark mode. Go to inspector, let's align it from the center and top. Now let's search for home indicator. Click on plus and search home indicator. Let's use dark portrait. Align center bottom. Add a title. Press on T, write finance. Zoom in to see better. For the text, use white color. SF Pro, semi-bold, and the size 17. Align from the center, margin top from the status bar 12. Press on Option key. You will see the guide, so I know the size of the negative spacing between the element. We will design the beautiful background effect from scratch by creating a custom background shape with blobs, gradients, and blur. Add a new page. Click on plus. Now with pattern. Add a frame. 700 by 700. Same color as the screen. Let's insert the first oval. Press on OK. To make a perfect circle, press on Shift. The size is going to be 200 by 200. It's more easy to have control in the inspector. We will change directly here. And let's position X 40, Y 180. Add a second oval. Duplicate this one, press on Option and drag. Change the size 280 by 300. I don't want a perfect circle, so I'm just going to click on unlock. Position to 360 by 180. We will connect the two ovals by using the vector tool to draw a trapeze shape. Click on view and show grid. I will go to canvas, grid setting. So it's going to be 10 instead. Let's zoom in. Click on the oval. So I want to find the center of the oval. Control R, and then you see the ruler. So when you mouse over here, you will see a red line. Same for the big oval. It's already at the center. We're gonna add a trapezoid. Let's use a vector tool. Press on V key or just go in insert, click on vector. I will click the first point here, and the second is gonna be here. I want to make sure the point of round number. I want to add two more points. We still on the edit mode. When you mouse over this line, you will see a plus sign. You can add new points. So I'm going to add here. Go to the inspector, 300. And this one, we remove the decimal. Add another point here. Fix his number. Click on the first point. We're going to change the point type. Use disconnect. We'll make a straight line. This one we will make a straight line here. My second point. X is 5. Change the Y. 310. And use mirror. Let's make a straight line. And the third point, use disconnect. The goal is to follow the circle. Play with the angle point. I will make a straight line and drag here. You don't have to be perfect. So it's more easy if we work on those points first. Click on the fifth point, white position to 380. This one I'm going to use asymmetric point. Click on the fourth point, use disconnect. This one, move it here, and this one we drag this angle point and make a straight line that fit the shape of this circle. This one I will use disconnect. Asymmetric is that you can control the two anchor points at different length, make it smaller or larger. A mirror, it's going to be symmetry. You cannot make it bigger or smaller. All right, now it's finished. So I will use fifth, and then I'm just going to remove border. We don't need it. And now what we have to do is select those together, and then we will use Boolean. Click on Union and you tap toolbar, and then we will add a linear gradient. The first color is, second color is, third color. Move from the left and right a little bit like this. We will continue by grading a blob. Start with the perfect circle, dimension of 224. Press on return key to edit, or go to the toolbar, click on edit. Just play around, make like a egg shape. It doesn't need to be perfect. I want to use round number. Change the X position to 224, 247. Remove border. Let's use angular. We have 4 colors, so add 2 more. Click random. First color is, second color, third color, fourth color. Okay, something like this. Add blur, set it to 40. Let's add another wall, size of 236. Press on return key. Do something like this. If you want the shape to be exactly like mine, click on the point. Note the X and Y position for each point to have the same result. I will remove border. Add linear gradient. Add third color. First color is, second color, third color, blur and set it to 11. And this one is called mesh 2 and this one mesh 1. Move mesh 1 at the top. Move a little bit like this. I'm just going to edit the shape a little bit. I want to make it look like mesh gradient and use asymmetric. Alright, so far so good. Now let's group those together. Press on Command G to group. Let's call it background. Now let's copy this folder. Press on Command C to copy and let's go back to the finance screen. We're going to change the name for finance. We're just going to paste here X to 20, Y to 60. I notice that my shape have a border, so let's move the border. Now much better. Let's create a credit card by adding glass morphism style with background blur. Insert a rectangle, press on R. Before that, this rectangle is going to be outside the background. Change the size to 334 by 200. Fill color to black. Opacity of 10%. So set the corner radius to 22. X and Y position to 28. 112 in the center. Let's add blur. Change it to background blur. I want to see the shape behind the glass because if I do too strong, I won't see a beautiful shape behind my glass. So I will do less, around 12. And use saturation that we can see more contrast. Let's say 40, and it create a vibrant color. It's make more beautiful. I will change the border to center, color to white, opacity of 40%, and add drop shadow. Change the color to X0, Y10, blur 40, add a second color, click on plus. This one I will use black, X0, Y2, and blur I will change it to 6. Add blending mode. Click on this icon with two circles that intersect. Now we have two colors. The one that I want that use overlay is the black color. Click on overlay. The shadow is too strong. It's not 100. It's gonna be 10% opacity. Now it's better. Let's add some detail on the card. Right credit card, align from the left. Left Pro, expanded semi-bone. Change the size for 13. White color, black text, and press an option to use the smart guide. From the top, I want 20. And from the left, I want 24. I'm just going to remove decimal. Let's click on this setting and you will see more options. So I will use the uppercase. Add 16 random digits. Press on T to add text. Use SA Pro, the new expanded semi-bold. The size is 18. Add 4 spacing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want 24 spacing. Let's add one more space between. Text alignment is on the center and the margin is going to be 113 from the top. Add more contrast. Color it's black, 20%. First, I will call this rectangle card. Add rectangle. Let's go to inspector to change the size. It's 100 by 28. I will set the corner to 9, fill color to black. And I would add the blending mode, use overlay. So we're not going to use the border. Remove, press on option. So I want the margin left 24 and the bottom it's going to be 16. Add text inside. It's going to be SF Pro, red color 12, white color. Change the text. So I'm just going to group this text and this rectangle together. So I'm just going to select. Let's go to the right inspector and use align from the center and middle. So I will call this photo valid. Add a Visa logo, and this code is coming with sketch assets that you can use on your practice. Click on the assets. In this case, we will use the Visa. I will select this one, press on Command C to copy, go back to the project. Right click on your mouse and paste. So for this car, I will use white instead of black. Select undo shape, fill change to white. Change the position, the margin right 24 and the bottom 22. Add the shapes cut here that we will create from scratch. Add a rectangle. Let's change the size to 30 by 21. Set the corner to 4. Top margin is 18 by 24. Zoom in to see more detail. Create 6 small rectangle of 11 by 5 with corner radius 3. 11 by 5. The corner 3, we're just going to use border, use white color. We will use inside width 1.5, margin top 2, left 2. So the spacing between is 1. The spacing from the right is 2. Okay, now let's style this rectangle. Change to black color, set to 20% opacity, use white, 50% opacity. Add a connection between the two rectangles. Add line, so we'll use 4. Centering between, so when use 0.5. Use white color. This line I will move here. I will duplicate around here and duplicate again. Group them together. Press on Command G and let's call it shape. Search for page controller in symbol here. Control, page control, default, dark. Take the one with 4 dots. Okay, just put here and then let's change the position. Okay, let's align center and the top margin between the page control and the card is 4. All right, like this. So far, so good. We finished the first section. We will create a custom action buttons. Click on plus, shape, and use polygon. Change the size, 72 by 60. I want to add 6 sizes. And change the degree to 90 degrees. Click on unlock. It's going to be 72. Click on edit and move your point a little bit and finish editing. Align 13 from the left, and for this one I will remove this man from the Y position. I want to set the top margin to 12. Alright, now let's edit the shape. Press on return key to edit. Top right point, I will change the X to 40. Top right point, I will change the X to 80. The bottom left point, and change it to 40. And the white, it's 444. It's 40. And the bottom is 80 and 444. So this point, I will change it to 408. Here, same thing. It's going to be 408. Finish editing. And now I will set the corner to 8. Change the color to white with intensity. Now let's add a second gradient. You can just rotate this. First color is white. Let's add 2 new points around here for now. First color is white and it's 0 opacity. Second color is white with 40 opacity. Third color is white with 10%. And the fourth color is black, 0 opacity. So let's zoom in to see more detail. So we're going to search for the center of this shape. So if you go to the ruler, you will set the guide. The center is going to be around here. And then go back to linear. So I'm just going to move this point at the center here. And the second color, I'm just move in the center like this. I want the opposite color like this. And now you can remove this guy to see better. Now let's change the border color. I'm going to set it to white with 20 opacity. Now let's add our background color. Set it to 10 and I'm going to add a saturation of 100%. Now it's make beautiful color. Let's add a symbol from SF symbol 4 that will be inserted at the top half of the button. I already prepared onto the asset. We're just going to go to the asset and let's go copy. Alright, let's add a oval. It's going to be 24 by 24. I like center. We're going to group them together. It's going to be easy to align together. So I'm just going to select those layers and I'm going to press an option. I'm just going to select this circle, search for the center. Okay, 8, 4. Top margin is 6. I'm just going to delete this. Now I'm just going to add text, price and T. So this one, I'm just going to copy this symbol and press on Command C to copy. And now back here, paste. So let's select the symbol in the circle and align from the center. All right. Okay, let's style this circle. Let's use black. And this one, I will use a blending mode, soft light. Now it's more soft and we can see through behind. Now let's add title for this button. Right top up. For this text, I will use uppercase. Alright, for this text, I will use SF Pro. I will use compress semi-bold because my text need to be small to fit this shape. It's very useful, this new with typography. Okay, let's align this text. The margin bottom, I will set it to 8, center. Alright, we finished with first button. Now let's duplicate. We can just press an option and drag and release and set the spacing between elements 30. Alright, and now let's duplicate again. You can press on Command D to duplicate, spacing 30. So on the spacing it's 30. Now what we have to do is change the symbol and change the text. The text is going to align from the center. Align from the center. I will search for the symbol from the assets. Let's go back to the assets page. Select and copy the symbols and go back to the project and paste them. Alright, paste on the symbol here. And now we are done with the action button. Let's create a transaction section. Let's add text right out this story. Let's align 16 from the left. Okay, before aligning from the top, let's change the text form. Use SF symbol semi-bold, size 17. Okay, we use color white. Let's align the top margin 36. And now let's duplicate this text. I'm just going to move around here and change for more this text element to right. I will change it to red color 15. Change the color to E B F5 and 60% opacity. This is for more like my secondary color for label. Right margin it's 16 and 36. Alright, now let's insert a rectangle. Press on our key. Okay, around here. Width it's 190 by 76. Okay, change the color to 21273D. Set the top margin to 16. Alright, so we don't need border, just delete. Now let's insert the logo. Now let's insert the rectangle for my section. Set the size to 44 by 44. Let's align top margin 16 and 16 from the left. Add a linear gradient. The first color is 0 F 55 E 8 Second color is 9DDFF3. Make a diagonal line like this. So add a border with 1 inside. Change the color to white with 50% opacity. And let's use overlay and click on this icon. Add overlay. Now add the corner radius to 12. Now let's go to the asset and find the sketch logo for this section. Okay, let's select this one. Alright, select this rectangle and paste the icon here. Okay, let's group this rectangle and the logo. Let's align from the center, horizontal and vertical. Let's name it logo. All right, let's organize the layer a little bit. For action button, let's call it but. Top up, send, pay, deposit. Okay, now let's group them together. Now let's call this action buttons. Okay, everything here let's move below. Okay, we can select this logo and rectangle. We can call it row and more, and those two texts we can group them together and name it on its story. All right, let's continue. Let's add a text. Sketch payment. Select the text for align from the left. Okay, I'm going to use SF Pro semi-bold. The size is 17 and left margin is 16. The top is 16. Okay, for the text, I use white 100%. Okay, I'm just going to duplicate this text and change it to this one. Will change for date. So let's change the font where. So let's change the style. I'll change it to regular 13 and change the color to EBEBF5 with 60% opacity. It's my secondary color. Now change 8 June 2022 and the margin is 16 from the left and 16 from the bottom. I will use uppercase for this one. Top margin 18 from the top. Now it looks better. Now add number. So I will change the text alignment to the right and use minus $9. Okay, let's group those layers together. 16 from the right and center. Let's call it content. And now I will add a separator. You can press on L to create a line. Press on Shift. It will make a straight line for you. So let's align from the bottom. You can just select here and select your rectangle. And then go to the inspector, click on align from the bottom. Alright. I will add linear. Select line. I'm just gonna move fill. And we're going to use border. Add linear, and we're just going to change the direction like this. So let's add 2 more points here. So it's not easy, so you can add from here. Click 2. Okay, and then it's easy to select later. First color is D6 D2 EA with the 0 opacity. Second color is D6 D2 A. Third color is D6 D2A. Fourth color D6 D2E A with 0 opacity. The first color is with 0 opacity. The second 100% is fine. Last 0 opacity. Okay. Now let's move the second point around here, and same with the other. Because I want to create the effect of fade in, fade out. Go to the opacity, change it to 20%. Like this. Now look much better. Now let's duplicate this row. Press on Command D. Alright. So let's do the duplicate again. Now what we have to do is to change the logo and change the text. For the icon, the logo and symbols, you can find it in the assets folder that we provided for you. Alright, so I changed the text and the icon. So I just need to change the gradient here. So I already created the color presets for this one. You're just going to search from here. It's going to be the purple one. I'm going to align, center. Alright. And for this one, I will use the pink. And this one, I will use the blue and purple. Alright, so the transaction section is done. I'm just going to delete this. Now let's group them together. Row and art history to group, and let's call it transaction. Alright, it's done. So far so good. Let's create a custom tab bar. In my design, I use a lot of glass morphism. It creates a very nice effect. Let's rectangle, set position X to 0, change the height to 88, align from the bottom. I want to create like a hole in the center. I want to do like a wallet pocket. First, let's edit this rectangle. Add 3 more points. We will do around here for now. All right. And then click on the first point that we just created. We're going to change the position. X is 153. 7, 5, 6, it's fine. The second is we're going to change here 195, 814, and the third. All right, I'm going to select those 3 points together. Set the corner to 30. We can select the first one, the top left, and the top right together like this. And change it to 16. All right, and then click on finish editing. Now let's style this shape. We will use white, 10% opacity. Add border color is white, 50% opacity. Inside, add the blending mode overlay. Then let's add a second border. And this time I will add the color to black, 10% opacity. The border is center 1. All right. Now I will add the select background blur. The background blur I will use is 20. Use the saturation to 100%. Now it creates a beautiful color. So let's add a drop shadow. Set the color to black with 10% opacity. X is 0. Y is -10. Blur set it to 30. Now we will create the plus button in the center. So let's insert the oval 24 by 24. Let's align from the center and 54 from the bottom like this. For this oval, I will use the angular gradient. I will add 4 colors. The first color is white. Second color is third color is white. Now, fourth color. Okay, let's move a little bit. All right, like this. And then let's add a second fill. This time we'll add radical. So let's move around here and we'll make an oval like this one. And let's incline a little bit like this. The first color is the second color is white with 0 opacity. No, it's 100% here. Okay, like this. Now let's copy this plus symbol. All right, select this circle and paste here. Those two together and create a group. Command G. Okay, let's select those two and align center vertical and horizontal. This one on it plus button. Okay, now let's add a tab. First, let's insert a rectangle. It's gonna be 48 by 49. Margin left is 15, top it's 4, space for 4. I will show how to do the first tab from scratch. Let's open the Accessible apps. Search for Accessible app. Search for Note. For my design, I use this one, Band Note. Now, press on Command C to copy. Then back to Sketch Project. Then you press on T key and press on Command V to paste. Now change the size for the font. Use SF Pro. We change to medium and the size is 18. And okay, white is fine. Align symbol center and the margin top 7. Okay, let's align from the center. For better alignment, okay, let's select the symbol and the rectangle. And now go to the inspector, click on the align center. All right, and escape, just select the symbol and press and the top margin, set it to 7. Now let's add text. Right, finance. Okay, let's change the text size. The size is 10. Use fill, use white color. Let's align center. Select finance and rectangle. And let's align center from the inspector. Set the bottom margin 3. All right. Now we don't need this rectangle because it's only for a guide. Hide this one. All right, now we can group those layers together. We have symbol, text, and rectangle. You can press on Command G to group. And let's call it tab 1. Now let's duplicate this tab. You can press on Command D and drag it here. I will set the spacing between 30. Press on Option key to see. All right, now they have the same spacing. Okay, let's do the same again. I can use Option key, press on Option key and drag it here. Give you the same spacing. Here it's 15, and here it's going to be 15 from the right. Okay, now copy this one and drag it here. The spacing between it's 30. Now what we have to do is to change the text. This one's going to be wallet. This one change for stats. And oh yeah, the text alignment, it's change it to center. Let's select the text and the rectangle. Align center. Okay. So this one too, change to text alignment center. Select with my rectangle and align center from the inspector. Same for this one. This one too, I can change now. This one I will change for more. All right. What you have to do is to change the symbol from the Accessible apps. For me to save time, I'm going to search from the assets. Select this symbol. When you see the orange, that means you copy. Press on Command C to copy. Then back to your project. Double click. When you see the orange selections, then you can paste. Command V. Okay. So we will do the same thing for other. All right. Now the top bar is done. Now I want to add a selected state. Add a polygon. Add 6 sizes. Rotate 90 degrees. The size is 70 by 70. Just going to add 10 round corner. Add linear color. First color is. Second color is. Okay, let's rotate a little bit. So we don't need border. Just delete. So I will set the position to 3. White position to 756. All right, and now we move this polygon behind the bar, which is behind the rectangle, this one. Okay, name it tab 2, 3, tab 4. On this one, I'm just going to put on a group and name it selected. Group them together, press on Command G. Now let's call tab bar. Now for those tab bar, use the overlay, and now we can move the tab bar here, bottom here. So we want to see the home indicator. So we finished the first screen, and then let's continue with the second screen. Let's move on the second screen. We will build a multi-card with different shots. Click on this artboard and press on Option key and drag here. Let's say 100. And delete on the elements except for status bar, home indicator, and the tab bar. I will keep the title. Change for statistic. Use SF Pro bold, size 34 for large title. Left margin 24. Top margin from status bar is 48. We will display different type of charts like path, ring, and bar. Insert a rectangle. Change the size to 158 by 228. Set the corner to 20. Add smooth corner. The difference between round and smooth, if we zoom in, we remove border. This is smooth, it's graduate, and when you add round, you will feel a little bit of sharpness here. Now it's better. On this rectangle card, set the margin left 24 and top 40. Add a linear gradient. First color, second color is, I want the card to be lighter so that we can see the contrast between the card and the background, so it doesn't blend too much in the background. Let's add a border. Change the color to opacity up 20. Add shadow. It's black, 30% opacity. X is 0, Y 10, blur 20. I want to create two sections. First section is for shots. Create rectangle. It's the same width, so the height is 144. I'm just going to group them together. Let's call it balance card. Inside this folder, create a group, Command G, call it chart. Add another rectangle, remove border, and then this one, I will this full content. For this rectangle, I will add a group. Let's hide for now. Inside this folder, just select align top, center. Okay, just hide this rectangle. It's for helping me to align inside a rectangle. Alright, use the vector tool to draw a graph. You can press on V key, draw a straight line. Press on escape, and when you mouse over, you can add 2 extra points like this. Click on the first point, change the position to 225. Select the second, change to 64. Wipe to 64. Next point, change to 124 and 236. This one is 182 and 266. Let's continue with the line. Let's close path. Select this point. It's 298. It's going to be 298. Let's select this point again, and this time I want to change the point type. Let's use mirror, and now I will start to manipulate to the bottom like this to create a beautiful shape. And the second point, I will use mirror. I will move around like this. For this one, I will use disconnect anchor point. I want to make a straight line from the bottom like this. So connect point, you can control the point from different direction. This one, I want to move from the left bottom like this. This one, make beautiful shape. All right, now I'm satisfied. Click on escape. I will add a gradient, so I won't need border for this one. The first color is opacity to 50%. Second color is opacity to 0%. Let's call it gradient. Now let's duplicate this one with this layer, name it blue. For this one, I'm going to use border, no fill. So let's edit this shape. Press on return key to edit. Or we can just go to the toolbar, click on edit. Click on the point here and click on open path. Click the point and delete. Now escape, finish editing. Now I would add to width, change the color. And for the start and end point, use round. Now let's duplicate this layer. Command D to duplicate and name it blue glow. For this one, add linear gradient. Let's turn direction, add the third color here. First color is copy this one. It's the same color. Second color is now let's add blur. Set the width to 3. This one's gonna be around here. The first one, I will set the opacity of 80%. Select those 3 layers, move it inside the folder charts. And this card, let's add a mask because I don't want to see this line. Click on card and right click on your mouse and choose mask. It's better. In dark mode, I like to use neon effects for light and color, and that's why I add a glow here. Now let's create a second one. Start with a line. Okay. We're going to use the same step as the first part. Add 2 extra points and change the position of the first point. X 24, Y 250. The second point, change to 64 and 264. Third point, 124 to 46. X here is fine, 42. And now let's close the path. 298. This one too gonna be 298. Select on this point. Let's use mirror and we turn around like this. And this one to use mirror. Turn around like this. Use disconnect. Now let's add linear gradient. The first color is 50% opacity. Second color is 0 opacity. Remove border. Let's move this layer inside charts. We name it gradient. Select those 3 together, group them and name it blue. And this one, I'm gonna create a group. It's gonna be pink. Duplicate this pink gradient. Add border. Remove fill. So for this one, let's edit first. We're going to open path and delete point. Remove fill, change the width to 2, add a linear color, rotate the direction, I would add 3 color. First color is, second color is, third color is, let's call it pink. Then duplicate, command D, name it pink glow. For pink glow, I will use linear gradient just with 2 color. First color, second color is, I will change the border width to 3. Add blur, set it to 2. Now let's finish the top half by adding a loop. Let's insert an oval. It's going to be 28. Position to 27 and white to 48. Add opacity that we can see through around the center of this intake section. Border 1, color is white. Don't use fill for this one. Add a background blur. Then let's add a second oval, 16 by 16. Align center of this circle. Press on Option key to see the smart guide. Parting inside is 6. Let's add linear gradient. First color is. Second color is So let's change the border color to white. I'll add 2 width, add shadow. It's going to be black with 50% of white. Set the value to 5, blue 5, overlay. I will add a second shadow, black with 20% opacity. Change it to 5, 5. The first all change it to 30% opacity. Those two all one together, group them. Press on Command G to group, name it Nope. It's gonna be outside pink. Now let's work on the content. I'm just going to hide this rectangle. Right balance. Use SF Pro semi bold size 13. I will use the secondary color with 60% opacity. Uppercase, margin left 16. Top margin from this rectangle 16. Duplicate this text. Right amount of the choice. Duplicate. Let's style this one first. Use SF Pro semi bold. Size is 17. White color. Change it back to 100%. The margin left 16 from the bottom 20. Let's move text inside this content folder. And this rectangle, I will change the height to 80. Select this rectangle and this layer card so I can align from the bottom. Now let's align my text 16 from the top, 16 from the left. And now this number 16 from the left and 20 from the bottom. It's already uppercase. Use SF Pro medium. Size is 15. Now we have the same alignment. The spacing between is going to be 4. So I change this text. I add 20 line and the spacing it's 16 from the left and top. Same thing for the digit number. I add 22 line. So 16 from the left, 20 from the bottom. Let's create a chart with ring progress. Duplicate this card and we're going to place it at the bottom of the card. The spacing between elements is 24. Just keep the text and inside the charts, let's delete. Insert a circle. Let's go to inspector and change from here and 90. Let's move inside charts. Select this triangle and align center. Select the over now. Use guideline. Press on option. I will set it at 30. Add border of width 20. It's on the center. Let's duplicate this layer. We're gonna hide this one. I want to convert to outline. Let's go to the sketch menu, click on layer. You will see cover to outline. And now it creates two shapes. Let's call this layer ring. Change the color to add border with 2. Center color, let's use white with 30% opacity. Use overlay. Continue with the second circle. Name it progress. Move fill. Use cap for this one. Dash is the size of the elements and the cap it's the spacing between elements. We have 1 pixel of cap, then we have 2, we have 4, 5, and dash. We can make it bigger, we can make it very small like this, but for us we're going to make a very big one. Dash is 100 and the cap is 350. I don't like this sharp end, so I use rounded. Add color. Use angular. We're gonna need full color. The first color is, second color is 0 opacity. This one, want to hide this part. Fourth color is cross around here. Third color is the first cross around here. This is not the direction that I want. Turn it clockwise. Click on flip vertical, this one. For the ring, I change the border from the inside and width 1. add a note. So copy from the previous card. Copy this one, the folder. Command C to copy. To see better, I'm just going to hide this one. Let's zoom in to see better. So here the spacing is center around this curve. Now we will add radar effects. We're going to use the same, this one. Change the size to 48. We don't need a background blur, just delete. Align this oval, centering 60. Let's duplicate this oval. Change the size to 68. So let's align center. I forgot to change the color of this one. 60% opacity. So I'm just going to copy this color, paste this color, and change the opacity to 20%. Duplicate this one. Change the size to 80. Align center. Okay, 32. Change the opacity to 10%. So we are done with this string. Change the text. This one's going to be credit card. Change the number. And here let's change back to 4. For this card, let's name it credit card. We will add a second variation for the progressing ring. Duplicate the previous card, white position 358. Margin is 24. Delete this node. Click on this progress. Go to inspector. Uncheck this button for flip vertical. Let's change the color. We just going to need 2. So delete 2 point. First color is. Second color is. Move the point here. Right now let's add shadow. Change the color to 35% opacity. Y adds 10. Blur set to 20. So we're just going to duplicate this progress and name it ring. So this one we're not gonna use this. Delete. Remove shadow. Let's remove the caps. Change it to 0. Change the color to it's solid color. Duplicate this layer. Progress 1. Now let's change the color. For this one we have 3 colors. The first color is. Second color is red. Now you don't see anything because it's behind the progress. They are the same shape. So let's go back to border and change the dash value to 200 like this. I'm just going to play with it. Change the shadow. 15% opacity. Change this text spending. Change the number. This card, let's name it spending card. Let's move those cards below top bar. And the text, let's move up here. Now let's create a chart with bar progress. Duplicate this one. Let's delete what's inside its charts. So you will click on this folder. So let's go to resizing. I want to pin it to the edge, to the bottom, and it's gonna be fixed size because for this card I will make it smaller. Click on this folder, back to inspector, change the size to 158. The text stay in place. For this card, let's call it cash flow. Let's add a rectangle. Size to 126 by 12. Align center from inside the card. Rectangle, just move inside charts. And the margin top, let's use 44. Let's add color. It's gonna be 50% opacity. Border with one side and use color black and use overlay. add a corner 6. Name this layer bar. Duplicate this layer and change width to 56. Change the color to linear. First color. Second color. 100. And here too is going to be 100. Just going to change the direction this way. The border I'm just going to change to white. 50% opacity. Overlay. Add a shadow. Change the color to X is 0, Y is 4. Blur change to 5. 30% opacity. Name this layer progress. I'm just going to group them together and call it pink. Now duplicate this folder. So the spacing between it's 8. This folder I will call it blue. Change the width to 126. Then let's change the color. First color is, second color is. This is not the direction I want, so we are going to inverse. Change the shadow color, 20% opacity. Change the text here. Change this number. So this one, the spacing between is 4. Duplicate this card, 24 from the top and 24 from the right. This one we don't see. I'm just going to hide this tab bar. So I'm just going to delete what's inside the shots. Change the text now. So we are going to use the same shots. With this one, we're going to use round instead of rectangle. So the size is 10 by 56. Align from the left. It's going to be 20. Let's move this inside shots. Align from the bottom. It's going to be 22. We are just going to copy this style. So just select on this layer. Press on Option Command C to copy property. And then go back here. Click on this layer. Press on Option Command V. And you paste. Okay, now this is not the direction that I want for the gradient. We use rotate, not direction. Okay, from this direction. Now for the shadow, change the value of Y to 10 and blur to 10. Opacity to 20%. Duplicate this one. Spacing between it's 8. Change the height to 100. So this one we're going to copy this blue. Press on Option Command C to copy properties. Select on this one and Option Command V to paste. So let's rotate. Okay, this is good. Change the value to 10 and blur to 10. Duplicate 5 more times and modify height and alternate the gradient. So for the last one, we can just add this one. Put it here for now. For this card, just change to income cards. Bring back the tab bar. Now let's fix these selected states. Change the X position to 237. So now this become selected. We're going to use white color. So I'm going to click on tab 4, remove overlay, put it to normal. Click on tab 1, so change back to overlay. This screen, let's change it to statistic. Alright, so far so good. So we are done with the second screen. Let's finish our design with the third and last screen. We will build different beautiful credit cards using radial, mesh, and linear gradients. First, let's duplicate the status screen and delete all the shortcuts. Alright, and for these titles, change it for wallet. And this screen, change it for wallet. First, let's insert a rectangle, press on R and drag here. So let's go to inspector and change the sizes to 358 by 224. Set the corner to 22. Let's align center. The top margin, set it to 40. And here we have a negative spacing 16. That's what I want. Okay, for this car, I'm just going to group now. Press on Command G. And now it's on the folder, so I'm just going to rename it to DB card. Alright, we're just going to add shadow for this card. Okay, we use black with 16% opacity. Change the white for 20 and blur to 40. Now insert a 80 by 80 polygon with X size. Okay, gonna change it for 80 and with X side. Now let's rotate it for 22 degrees. Okay, for better position my polygon, I'm just going to flatten the shape. Just go at the top center toolbar here, click flatten. Now it's better. Align this shape to center, and if you move the shape, you will see across here is the center. This is where I want. Alright, now press on edit. We're going to edit the shape. You can go to the toolbar, click on edit. Alright, we're gonna move the point manually first. Okay, I will start from this point. Let's go to the inspector. Let's change the X and Y position. 90, 176. Then the second point, 99. 170. Now this point 291 by 170, and now this point 291 176. Now this point 262 176. Okay, now this point bottom right 256 212, and this one 134 212. Next 125 176. All right, I want to create a shape like a notch similar to iPhone notch. At the same time, this shape is inspired by wallet, so I'm just going to select this point, press on shift to add many point you want, and then I'm just going to change the corner radius to 12. So let's move border. Don't need for this rectangle, just remove border. Just going to change different color to see. Now I have my shape. Okay, now what I have to do is select this rectangle and this polygon, and now let's go to the toolbar. Let's use boolean. Let's select the subtract. All right, now that we have the shape that I want, now insert a rectangle of 164 by 37. Okay, just remove border, don't need. Just add a different color that we can see. So let's align center. This rectangle, I want to place it behind this card. Move this rectangle behind the combined shape like this. I want to add a background blur for this one. Okay, just go to fill, change the color for black with 50% opacity, add border one side and use black. All right, now let's add border and use white with 16% opacity. And now I'll add the background blur. Change for background blur, let's use 20. Okay, for this rectangle, let's call it notch. All right, select this combined shape, duplicate, press on Command D, and let's call it border. On this layer, we don't need fill, we don't need shadow. We're gonna use border. Okay, select in this combined shape. You can add color to see what we're doing. Okay, now back to layer border. Okay, we will add linear color, and for color it's white. We're just going to use different opacity. The first one is going to be 20% opacity. Second, it's going to be 80% opacity. And the third, 30% opacity. And the last, 10% opacity. And now let's use a blending mode. Use overlay. Now I want to create a reflection light here. So let's move the point here. See, create a light here. So that's why here I don't want too much light. So I use 20% opacity, and here I make stronger so that we can see more light here. Now my card is ready. I want to add a mesh gradient for my background. So I will show you the tool that we can create beautiful gradient with the mesh. So we have this website, meshgradient.com, that you can work directly on the desktop. You don't need a plugin for this one, and it's free for everyone to use. Here, the first one, you have your color. You can add many points if you want, but mainly you can only add 4 main color. When you click on the color, you can change different color for this one, or you can show color. This, you have a hex color they can use. Here, you can do a strapper to clone the color from the background. It's very cool also. And here, the right one, it's where you play with the points or the handle. See, like this. And here you can add different points with the color, or you can move around this one. So you play with it until you are satisfied. Yeah, if you want the blur to be more sharp, you close them together. It will create like a sharpness like this, for example. So once you're satisfied with the color, the shape, so just click on export and it will go straight on your download folder. This is use a random color. This is for reset mesh. You want to start from 0. And here it's for the gallery that people did. This one is one of my favorite tools. They have this kind of same name. It's www.meshgradient.com. This one is a plugin for Sketch and for Figma. So we design in Sketch. So we're going to use a plugin for Sketch. You have 1 week try, and it's very worth it to try. You can create a beautiful color and more sharpness on this one. And you have the collection is nice, very good color. So click, try it for free. You click on this link. One is done, double click to install the plugin. So when you install your plugin, you can go to Sketch menu, click on plugin, and it's here. If it's not appearing on your and this menu, so click on manage plugin, and we'll have on the list that you installed so far. So just click on check. Okay, now click on mesh gradient. So I have 1 week to try. On the left inspector, you have this custom color that you can choose. And here it's the point. This one is 2 by 2. You have 4 by 4, etc. And when you click on this handle or point, and you will see different color that you can add. You add different color. I just play around to show. Or you can use your own color here, hex color. This you can use mirror. And here you can use asymmetric. You click on this handle. Yeah. You can move the shape. This interesting. You can make the heart. Just move around like this. So every point here you can control with the handle. And you can move the point around like this. But sometimes it's risky. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it doesn't look good. When you're not happy with the curve, you can click on reset. We can start with very simple. Oh, this one will use different color. Okay, we add that light pink here. Click on this center point and play with the handle. Okay, this. And then we can play with this one. Let's change, play with this asymmetric. Okay, for example, I don't like this screen, so we can change. Let's put it dark. This one too. So, for example, I satisfied with this one, so I'm just going to add a gradient. It should be appear somewhere here. Okay, it's here in my design. I'm just going to use this shape, combined shape, use as a mask. And I will move my mesh that I just create here inside. Alright. Okay, now it's too small. I will make it smaller. I can press on Command key about 600. So I'm just going to square from the corner. I press on shift to keep the proportion. Yeah, that is it. In my design, I will use the preset that I already created. Those are the presets that I already created. As you can see, I really like this one because it gives a very smooth transition with the color, and it gives the feel of very soft, silky color. Yeah, and this one we just create. And here you see the preset that I did with the desktop app. The one it's free. Here the mesh it's more about blur, and the sharpness it's not really clean and elegant as the plugin, but as a result it still gives you a nice result. It's the style that you want to going for. All right, for my card I will use this one. Well, as you can see, for my light mode, the background blur, I use a mesh gradient with soft light. I use pastel color. And for my dark mode, I use more strong color, vibrant color. Vibrant color, it works well with the dark mode. So for my card and the dark mode, I will use this one. I'm just going to copy this one. Now back to the project. I'm just going to paste my image here. I'm just going to rotate 90 degrees and find the one that I like. Okay, like this. All right, now let's add a title for this card. Press on T to add text. It's going to be debit card. I will use uppercase. Use SF Pro semi-bold. Size is 34. Use secondary color EBF5 with 60% opacity. Okay, I will align center this notch. Just going to align from the center middle. All right, now add 16 random digits. Okay, now I use SF Pro expanded semi-bold. The size is 18. All right, so when add space 4 times, 1 2 3 4, add 4 new numbers, 4 random digits, 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Just going to move this dot in place by space. Okay, escape, and now align center. So the margin is around 36. From the top, it's going to be 132. Now I'm going to add a rectangle. Change this sizes to 105 by 28. Set the corner to 8. Now change the color to black with 30% opacity. Okay, let's remove border, we don't need. Let's align this rectangle. Margin left 30. From the bottom it's going to be 20. So this one just move here instead, so that I can have a nice spacing. Okay, select this rectangle and create a group. Command G, and let's call it valid. Okay, inside this folder, let's add the text valid through June 24. Change the SF Pro to regular. Size is 12. Well, it's fine. Okay, select this text and this rectangle and align center. Okay, the reason I create this black background because I want my small text to be legible, because if I don't use the background inside, I won't see this small text. We can add a chip card here and the Visa logo here. So we are just going to reuse the same. Let's copy this one. Let's paste here. Okay, just put it here for now. Now search for Visa. Okay, copy and back here. Okay, just place it here. Margin is going to be 30. Bottom is 22. All right, select this rectangle and change the color to 876D with 60% opacity. And now border, change the color AF876D. Now change the border to column E5E0CA, and it's going to be from the outside, and the width change to 0.5 like this. All right, we just finished the first card. Now let's move the Visa logo inside the debit card. Here you can add different type of logo. I'm just use the same Visa. All right, duplicate the previous card and position it on X16 and Y350. Select the combined shape layer. Go to Inspector. Delete the mesh gradient as we will replace it by a radical gradient. Then select Combined Shape Layer. Go to the Inspector and add Radical Gradient. Drag the center point at the top right. Zoom out a little bit, you can see. Let's make a big oval and drag this white down. Okay, it's gonna be around here. Okay, let's add 3 more points. 1, 2, 3. Now the first color is FE281. Second color F7D21. Third color D52B19. Next color 5C44D9. Last 52446E9. So the color, let's change around here. All right, for this card I will use for Apple Pay. So instead of debit card, let's change it to Apple Pay. Go to Assets to use Apple Pay logo. All right, select layer, copy, Command C to copy, and then go back to okay. I'm just going to replace, paste over. Okay, let's change the color to white. Okay, now let's position it from center, horizontal, and vertical. Okay, let's center horizontal and vertical. Come for this video card, we don't need. Just going to lead. For valid true, we're going to change for, we can change the number. And size is for Apple card. We can use the same design as Apple card. For chip card, we're just going to hide those. Okay, all right. Now let's change this card. Apple Pay card. Okay, let's select the folder Apple Pay card. Then go to Effector. Let's add shadow. This one is apply. What's in the apply? Okay, the shadow, it's black with 30% opacity. All right, the X is 0, Y is -10, and blur set it to 40. All right, the white position, let's change it to 361. I get light shadow to give some depth in the cut. I want to add some shadow on my text, add more contrast in my design. So I'm just going to use 50%, 1 Y set to 1 and blur set to 2. And I will use the overlay that it's more soft at 60%. All right. So I'm just going to save the same property as this one. Right click on your mouse and click on copy style. And we're just going to select this number. Right click on your mouse and paste style. Like this. Now I have more contrast. Also, we can change the number, add some random. Okay. All right. For the last card, we will replace the gradient with the pattern. Sketch have an amazing feature that can copy and rotate shapes to create an interesting pattern. For the last card, we will replace the gradients with pattern. Sketch have an amazing feature that can copy and rotate shapes to create interesting shape pattern. Copy the previous card. Just press on Command D. You can press on Option and drag at the bottom like this. Let's go to Inspector. Change the white position to 545. Okay, and then change the fill color to black for now. Solid black. Let's call this card credit card. So I'm just going to select those layer and move those folder on the kappa like this. Now let's create an interesting pattern. Go to the page patterns, add an artboard with black color of 400 by 400. Okay, it's aligned. Let's say 100. Go to the sketch menu, click on view, grid setting. Grid block size, set it to 20. Take every 10 block is fine, dark. Feel this is gonna help me to guide me. I will use a grid to guide us through this progressing. Let's create an oval and start using a linear or angle with colors of your choice. Insert an oval of 225 by 225. Let's center it from horizontal and vertical. So first oval is 4 by 4. Let's change the position 86, 196. All right. We're going to choose a color from this one. Press on Option Command V to copy. And I'm just going to press on this circle. Option Command V paste. Blur. Don't use this. Add a oval. It's going to be 198. Okay, now let's copy this wall. Press on Command D and change the X position to 304. Change the X position to 310. Alright, okay, let's pick this layer. Okay, Command D to duplicate and change the size to 5 by 5. Change position to 91 and Y position to 163 and duplicate this shape. Change the X position to 304. Now this third row, duplicate, select this shape and duplicate and change the sizes to 7 by 7. Change the X position to 102. Y is 291. It's 135 and duplicate this shape and change the X position to 291. All right, this one change the X to 103 and this one change the X for 290. All right, this one let's duplicate and change the sizes to 11. Change the X position to 120. Y position is 112 and then duplicate this layer and change the X position to 269. Now the fifth one. Okay, let's select this one and duplicate. Change the sizes to 15 and change the X position to 140. Y is 95. Okay, duplicate this one and change the X position to 245. Now sixth row. Duplicate this one to 18, the X position to 162 and 85. Okay, duplicate this one, change the X position to 220. Okay, duplicate this one, drag here, we can change the size to 24 and let's change the X position to 188 and Y position to 26. All right. Okay, now we don't need the gray or one anymore. We can hide it for now. And now let's select 13 ovals. All right. For my artboard, let's change to black so that we can see it's better in black. Select the combine shape layers. Go to sketch menu, click on layer, path, copy, rotate, and let's make 20 copies. You will have 21 layers in total. And here is your center point. And here is your handle that you have control to move your shape around into the shape that you are satisfied with. Let's zoom out so we can see better like this. It creates a beautiful shape. It's very interesting. Yeah, when you move, it creates different pattern for you, and depend on the angle, the size of your move, the color change also. Okay, once you're satisfied with the shape, you just click on escape. See, they make 21 copies. You can leave the color like that, but for me, I'm just going to select on those shapes together and press on union, and now the color is merged together. All right, once you are satisfied with your color, you're going to copy the shape. Press Command C to copy, and you Going back to your iOS app and paste here. Let's move the pattern here at the top of the button here. Yeah, this pattern is inspired of the Apple heart. Alright, let's change the color a little bit. I want the color to fit with my design. Okay, change the first color to FF9D3F. Okay, second color is F46772. Okay, third color is AF33E4. Okay, next color is 270E4. Okay, let's add the other color. It's 56FF. Alright, so right around here. Now that I add a pattern for this card, and the shape is distracting, so I don't see. Now I see that because I add a pattern is distracting because we want to see the number. We want to see the content. I will add a rectangle behind and add some background blur to help contrasting. So we're going to start with this one. Create rectangle, fix the size to 296 by 32. Set the corner to 9. And let's use black color with 30% opacity. Let's delete border and now add background blur. Let's place it behind the digit. Select this rectangle and this. Okay, first let's position the rectangle first. Okay, X position is 45, 47. X position is 658. Okay, let's align center and the text is center. Okay, click this digit and rectangle align center. Okay, click the number. Okay, this one use the white. Now we have some problem here because of the pattern. The digits lose contrast. Let's fix that. Create a rectangle about the size of 298 by 32. Set the corner to 9. Let's use black with 30% opacity. Okay, delete border, we don't need. Let's add background blur. Change this to 10. Now place this rectangle below the digit number. Align center. Select the digits and rectangle. Align center. Now it's readable. So this is not longer Apple Pay. It's pretty common. Add the same text. Add this one. Just going to copy and paste over. Okay, just delete the Apple logo. We just going to place in the center. Click on notch. Forgot to reduce the opacity to 50% like this, and we already have the background blur here. We select this, delete this, and select this debit card and notch. Align center, and just click on this notch layer. Copy style. You can press on Option Command C to copy, and let's go back here. Notch. Press on Option Command V to paste. Same thing here on the debit card note. Option Command V. Alright. We don't see much because the background is dark. It's a credit card. Add back the Visa. Okay, let's copy Visa from finance page. Go back. Let's paste the Visa logo here. Okay, let's press around here. Copy this rectangle. I'm just going to press an option and drag. Change the dimension of this rectangle is 64 by 28, and the size, change the position to 276 and 723. Rectangle, we just move here. Okay, I will need the spacing 30. Same for this one because this one is 30 because the margin from the left 30. So we use the same 721. And the Visa, let's align the Visa and the rectangle center. Okay, we can just group together. It's gonna be Visa logo. All right, we finished the third card and we have a better contrast and my text is readable. Now let's fix the tab bar. So now we on the page wallet. So we're gonna change the style. Click on the selected state. Change the X position to 83. Okay, and the tab tool and change the blending mode to normal. And here we change back to overlay. Alright guys, so far so good. Here is our final and cover design. We have completed our 3 screens from scratch. If you make it to the end, congratulations! I hope you have enjoyed this course and learned new things. See you on the next one.